Hello everyone. For tonight's story, I'm going to be reading to you from the Sneeches. Ooh, look, my copy of my book has a very shiny cover on it. But this book is by Dr. Seuss. You might have some of his stories at your house, like The Cat in the Hat or Green Eggs and Ham. And this book is about some funny characters, the Sneeches, and some of them have stars on their bellies and some of them are plain. And this is about what happens when the ones with stars start saying they're better than the plain-bellied Sneeches and making them feel left out. Alright, let's find out what happens. Now the star-bellied Sneeches had bellies with stars, and the plain-bellied Sneeches had none upon theirs. Those stars weren't so big, they were really so small, you might think such a thing wouldn't matter at all. But because they had stars, all the star-bellied Sneeches would brag, "We're the best kind of Sneeches on beaches. With their snoots in the air, they would sniff, they would snort. We'd have nothing to do with the plain-bellied sort." And whenever they met some when they were out walking, they'd hike right on past them without even talking. Oh dear. And when the star-bellied children went out to play ball, could a plain-bellied Sneech get in the game? Not at all. You could only play if your bellies had stars, and the plain-bellied children had none upon theirs. There they are, all alone while the rest are having fun. When the star-bellied Sneeches had Frankfurter roasts, those are the little hot dogs they're roasting on a stick, or picnics or parties or marshmallow toasts, they never invited the plain-bellied Sneeches. They left them out cold in the dark of the beaches. They kept them away, never let them come near, and that's how they treated them year after year. Then one day, it seems, while the plain-bellied Sneeches were moping and doping alone on their beaches, just sitting there wishing their bellies had stars, a stranger zipped in with the strangest of cars. "My friends," he announced in a voice clear and keen, "my name is Sylvester McMonkey McBean. And I've heard of your troubles, I've heard you're unhappy, and I can fix that, I'm a fix-it-up chappie. I've come here to help you, I have what you need, and my prices are low, and I work at great speed, and my work is 100% guaranteed." Then quickly Sylvester McMonkey McBean put together a very peculiar machine, and he said, "You want stars like the star-bellied Sneech? My friends, you can have them for $3 each." So you have to pay him some money. "Just pay me your money and hop right aboard." So they clambered inside, and the big machine roared, and it clunked, and it bonked, and it jerked, and it burked, and it bopped them about. And the thing really worked. When the plain-bellied Sneeches popped out, they had stars. They actually did. They had stars upon theirs. So they pay him $3, go in the front, shakes them out, boo! They pop out with a star on their belly at last. Then they yelled at the ones who had stars from the start, "We're exactly like you. You can't tell us apart. We're all just the same now, you snooty old smarties, and now we can go to your Frankfurter parties." "Good grief," groaned the ones who had stars at the first. "We're still the best Sneeches, and they are the worst. But now, how in the world will we know?" They all frowned, "if which kind is what, or the other way round." I say, "Oh no, we have stars too. How are we gonna know that we're the best kind of Sneech?" And then up came McBean with a very sly wink. And he said, "Things are not quite as bad as you think. So you don't know who's who. That's perfectly true. But come with me, friends. Do you know what I'll do? I'll make you again the best Sneeches on beaches, and all it will cost you is $10 eaches." belly stars are no longer in style," said McBean. "What you need is a trip through my star-off machine. This wondrous contraption will take off your stars, so you won't look like Sneeches who have them on theirs." And that handy machine, working very precisely, removed all the stars from their tummies quite nicely. So remember, he got paid $3 to put a star on. Now he's asking $10. Go in, boom, pop, sliding out plain-bellied. Then, with their snoots in the air, they paraded about, and they opened their beaks, and they let out a shout. "We know who is who, now there is no doubt. The best kind of Sneeches are Sneeches without." Then, of course, with those stars, they got frightfully mad. To be wearing a star now was frightfully bad. Then, of course, old Sylvester McMonkey McBean invited them into his star-off machine. Then, of course, from then on, as you'll probably guess, things really got into a horrible mess. Can you guess what will happen? They said, "We took our stars off." They still have stars. Oh boy. All the rest of the day on those wild screaming beaches, the fix-it-up chappie kept fixing up Sneeches. Off again, on again, in again, out again. Through the machines they raced round and about again, changing their stars every minute or two. And they kept paying money. They kept running through until neither the plane or the starbellies knew whether this one was that one, or that one was this one, or which one was what one, or what one was who. So here they are. They've all got their money as they're waiting in line. In they go. For a star on or a star off, and then out they're popping. Just putting on stars, taking them off, seeing that they don't want a star, going back, getting another one. And then, when every last cent of their money was spent, the fix-it-up chappie packed up and he went. Ooh, look at that bag full of dollars in his truck. They have no money left. They wasted all their money changing their stars. And he laughed as he drove in his car up the beach. They never will learn. Nope, you can't teach a Sneech. But McBean was quite wrong. I am happy to say that the Sneeches got really quite smart on that day. The day they decided that Sneeches are Sneeches and no kind of Sneech is the best on the beaches. That day all the Sneeches forgot about stars and whether or they had one or not upon theirs. They said they can start to be friends. Doesn't matter if you have a star or no star on your tummy. And I think that that was a really good lesson for those Sneeches to learn, because it was not really fair, was it, when they were being left out? They didn't like that, and it was not kind to treat someone differently just because of the way they looked, especially if you were born with a star or no star. That wasn't fair for the Sneeches. All right, well, I'm glad they learned that they could all get along and be friends, because that's what I think too. We could all get along and be friends. Thanks for coming to our story, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.